What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Funnel Vision Show, where we work with marketers to help level up their game. I'm your host, Mikel Dia, founder and CEO of Funnelytics. And as you know, if you're listening to this, I'm all about performance and I'm all about figuring out what are the different tactics that we can use as marketers to really get in front of our audience, increase conversions, and really drive more customers for our business. And today we are going to dive into the world of LinkedIn and creator marketing and looking at creators to help us really leverage our brand and get it out to the world, which is very interesting because LinkedIn is one of those channels that a lot of people don't really spend a lot of time on. They think it's expensive. They think, it's only for busy professionals, but that's just not the reality of it. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, and today we have an expert on LinkedIn marketing and, more importantly, how influencers and creators are leveraging LinkedIn to really grow brands. AJ Eckstein, what's going on, buddy? Thank you for being on.
Of course, man. Thanks so much for having me. I love the shoes in the background. I'll also get a pair of those for my Funnelytics merch after the show.
You should. They're one of one, but they are pretty dope. People always comment on them. Look, man, I appreciate you being on because I think this is a very, very important topic. A lot of stuff is changing in the world of marketing, and I'm finding more and more people are shifting towards LinkedIn, especially on the B2B side. So talk to me a little bit about your not so humble bragging rights. We always start the show like that. So you're going to have to basically give people the highlights. What have you been able to do for yourself? What have you been able to do for your clients? In other words, why should people listen?
Yeah, well, I know this is a marketing show, but I feel like every great marketer is also a seller, and you have to sell what you're doing or else no one's going to buy what you're marketing. So my name is AJ. I'm the founder and CEO of Creator Match. We match brands with LinkedIn creators. We have both an agency as well as a software platform. So on the agency, we run some of the biggest campaigns in the world on LinkedIn, ranging from Notion and their Notion Faces campaign that took over the platform with 50 creators posting on one specific day. We work with HubSpot, BetterHelp, Teachable, Beehive, Wix. If it's a big name, we've likely worked with them or ran their first ever creator activation on LinkedIn. And we also have an entire software platform that really builds a custom solution for brands that want to take this in-house and run it themselves, whether you are a creator partnerships manager or you're influencer marketing or social media, all things around LinkedIn creators. And I think that LinkedIn gets this rap of, it's a job search platform. But I think today, especially in 2025, and I just spoke about this on a panel at South by Southwest 2 weeks ago, where the professional influencer, the business creator is having their moment. And the creator on LinkedIn, the average creator never started to build an audience to make $1. They did it to build a following and become a thought leader in whatever domain or expertise that they have or that they're in. So the trust is everything. And we know if we are a business, especially targeting professionals, it's really hard to market to professionals. They're so busy. And it's not just like a TikTok video where you buy a Stanley Cup, but it's marketing maybe a software that is not as fun or as sexy as marketing something on a TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube. So, these creators build trust. These creators have fun, creative ways to market something that might be traditionally boring, let's say an insurance company in the B2B space. And they're bringing a new way to humanize your brand that might not have a presence other than just being a logo. So really leading the charge on all things LinkedIn creator marketing, activating this new creator set where there's so much supply of content, but there's such few brands tapping in and partnering with creators. And it's a mix of, it could be a sponsored campaign where you pay, John to post about XYZ software. It could be inviting John to join a live event on your webinar. It could be inviting John to come speak at an IRL event for a creator dinner or some sort of conference for you. Or it could also be putting thought leader ads behind the creator's content and doing traditional influencer whitelisting, which most people don't realize you can do today on LinkedIn. And you see it super common on other platforms, but why run so many ads with traditional ad creative from your company account when you can run it behind the creator's account and it's going to perform way better because it's organic content. So all things LinkedIn creator marketing is fair game for us on both the agency and the software side.
So let's define LinkedIn creator and creators in general, because obviously I think everybody knows YouTube creators, like their job is literally, I'm going to create YouTube videos. Same thing with TikTok. Like it's literally a platform where I scroll through videos and there's people who create videos on there. LinkedIn is not a traditional creator platform, right? It's a platform where maybe you network with your professional network. It's a platform where maybe you advertise or announce that you've got a new job promotion. So, what is an actual LinkedIn creator? Are they marketing professionals who basically have a day job and their day job isn't necessarily creating content, but they just do? Like, define it for us a little bit.
Sure. So I will say that the average creator on LinkedIn didn't start to make money versus someone on YouTube or TikTok started probably to monetize and eventually become a full-time creator. So the average creator on LinkedIn likely still has a 9 to 5 corporate job. They might be a marketing leader at Google. They might be head of sales at Gong. They might be an influencer marketing manager at Notion, but they have influence over their audience. And what's so interesting is that you don't need as big of an audience when you're selling to other businesses or business owners versus on other platforms, you're selling to consumers. It's more of a volume game, right? LinkedIn is a quality game, not a quantity game. So maybe you are a CPA and your audience is 3,000 CPAs and accountants at other companies. Imagine the trust that you have. Imagine the leverage that you have over your audience if you were to ever sell a course or talk about your favorite accounting software, or talk about how much you love QuickBooks, let's say, right? And that could be one conversion that leads to 50 software seats for that business, right? So a creator, there's not really necessarily a audience number that once you hit 5,000 followers on LinkedIn, you become a LinkedIn creator. We define it as anybody who has influence over their audience, who is a trusted person in a certain domain or niche. Let's say it's marketing or business or productivity, and who creates content frequently. I will say that because people don't think of LinkedIn as a creator platform, that could be a negative, but to us, it's such a positive, both for the creator to stand out as well as the brand to do something differently. We talk a lot about playbooks on the show, right? So why not build a new playbook on a platform that none of your competitors are doing? Like the Notion Faces campaign that we helped Notion run has never been done before. You can't think of your favorite software marketing campaign on LinkedIn because it doesn't exist, versus your favorite influencer campaign on TikTok. There are thousands. It's a red ocean. So LinkedIn is this massive blue ocean, both for brands, agencies, and creators. An opportunity to stand out has never been greater than this year.
I want to talk about both sides because I'm very curious as to how this works. So let's focus first and foremost on the creator side. I am a professional, like I'm a marketing executive, maybe I'm a CEO or whatever, an owner of a company. I post a bunch of stuff on LinkedIn, and all of a sudden I have a following and an audience. I never thought that I would, and so. I'm not really thinking about monetization. So how do these opportunities come about, and like what can I do with that? Like how do I make money? How does it work? Walk me through on the creator side.
Sure. So the first thing is I myself a LinkedIn creator, and I think it's so important that you solve your own pain before you solve someone else's pain. And I realize that the pain of the lack of monetization opportunities has never been greater. You have this group of creators on LinkedIn who have massive reach, massive followings, and have never made a dollar from the platform. So there's not like you have on YouTube where you have YouTube AdSense where you don't need a brand deal, but if you get 1 million views, you have ads rolling through your video and you get paid. So there's pain in this group is the first thing. The second thing is if you have reach, you have an audience and they trust you for something, you can absolutely monetize it. So most people traditionally have taken people off platform to a newsletter. They sell an online course, they do speaking, whatever it is. But now brands are saying, wait, what if I just tap into AJ, who is a trusted voice in XYZ category? So of course, like with us at Creator Match, we have an incredible way to pay out creators. We've paid out a couple $100,000 in payouts to LinkedIn creators in just the last few months. So our goal is to get LinkedIn creators paid, a group of creators that again have had so much pain over the last few years, never gotten a dollar. You can go to our website, creatormatch.com, fill out the creator interest form and kind of express interest to be part of campaigns. But if you don't go that route, if you're with our agency, we can go out and source you. So we're not a talent agency. We don't rep creators exclusively. We actually go out and rep the brands, unlock these treasure chests of campaign budgets, anywhere from 50, 100, 200K plus, and then go out and find the best creators for those campaigns that might be the creators that are looking to do campaigns with. And we have an entire platform for sourcing, for analytics, media kits, everything. And a great way as well is, one of the hardest things with LinkedIn is given the limited API that they have around data collection, there's no tools around analytics. So we actually built an incredible free tool. You go to our website, creatormatch.com, and we have an awesome Chrome extension that just got featured by the Chrome store where you can go to any creator's profile and see all of their sponsored content that they've done, if they've done any, their engagement rate, their top performing posts. You can go to the homepage and see all of the sponsored content being run in the feed, because we've heard from creators, okay, well, I join your creator network, but there's only so many campaigns that you guys are running as an agency. I want to go out and fish for my own deals. But what brands are actually spending with creators? So this tool identifies what brands are spending. And now you're no longer shooting in the dark. You know exactly who's spending. There's higher intent. So when you reach out and say, hey, I'm a top marketing voice to HubSpot and you're doing a marketing campaign, great. We're like going to make this amazing match. So tools like that, filling out our interest form and just expressing interest and talking about brands is a way to get attention, to get more campaigns and more deals.
What makes a good LinkedIn creator, or even a great LinkedIn creator, versus YouTube versus, TikTok? Obviously, those are entertainment platforms. LinkedIn is starting to become a little bit more of an entertainment platform, if I look at it a little bit more. But what makes a great creator on LinkedIn?
I would say, for at least historically from the creators that we've worked with, is not only do they educate, but they entertain as well. So that fine line between edutainment, as they call it, right? So I think especially for industries that are so boring, right? B2B is traditionally just boring, right? A lot of it is not your fun, sexy, consumer-facing product or service. So if you can have a creator, again, humanize the brand. We have a couple incredible creators that do skit style videos. Videos is performing extremely well right now on the platform, and they can add and just make something that's super complicated not as complicated for the consumer to better understand. And it's not always about conversion, but just moving people down the buyer cycle. Because especially when you're selling to other businesses, it's not you see one sponsored post from a creator and you're going to buy. But now that's top of mind. Okay, I saw the video from HubSpot. Next time I'm in the market for CRM, I'm going to move further along to get more to consideration and then eventually conversion. So I will say, if you could dive deep into, like, I follow you for education, I follow you for entertainment. Some creators crush both with edutainment, but really just great creative, consistently posting, continually to change up your post format, and talking about brands is everything. Because you could be a top voice in a certain category, but if you've never mentioned a brand, it's very risky to work with you, right? So how can you de-risk yourself is talking about the brands that you work with, right? Not talking about every brand, but the brands that you actually use. Like, what is your tech stack on a daily basis? You have maybe Riverside, and you have HubSpot, and you have Superhuman and Gmail and whatever it is. So build that trust, have your audience follow you, and have them be influenced by what you say in your recommendations with that great content.
Yeah, I think that edutainment angle, or what you just mentioned, is extremely important. And I think, again, people come onto LinkedIn to, they're a little bit more in work mode and in that mindset. So it has to kind of move them down that path of, like, is this actually going to help me, or is this for me to waste time? Right. So that makes a lot of sense. So let's flip it then on the other side, and let's talk about the brand side. So I'm obviously looking for that person that you just kind of shared on the creator side, but why am I thinking about using LinkedIn? I mean, outside of the obvious, the B2B buyers are there, the executives are there. Walk me through kind of the brand side.
So if I'm on the brand side, right, the first thing is LinkedIn creator marketing is perfect when your ICP lives on LinkedIn. I'm assuming most marketers spend a lot of time, as much as they may say that they don't like the platform, it still brings you back on a daily basis. Almost every working day, you're probably logging on and just checking a couple of things, whether it's for your personal brand or your company brand. You're on LinkedIn. So the first thing is you're on the platform. Your ICP is probably on the platform. Your company, I guarantee you, is likely running ads right now on the platform as well. But a majority of LinkedIn ads are extremely expensive, and they're very traditional ad creative. It looks like an ad, right? So I don't have to explain as much about the opportunity, but now more so the tactical side is, okay, well, if you're already spending on LinkedIn, why not spend with creators in your ICP's niche that has that trust and credibility that you could do new, interesting things with, and put ad spend behind the creator's content? And that is the ad creative. So you can A/B test with the highest performing sponsored content that you ran for that specific month. So we have some brands we're working with, and they treat creator spend like ad spend. So every month, instead of spending $50,000 on ad spend, they're probably spending 30,000 on creators and having them come up with new unique angles to market the product or service, and then maybe 20K on putting ad spend behind the top performing content. Right. So like LinkedIn is this incredible platform. People still think they don't see the bigger picture. They still think it's a job search platform, and they're still competing in this red ocean. It's a massive blue ocean. There's not a lot of competition. So in the feed right now, you don't even realize that you're reading a sponsored post because it's so organic. I think in a few years it will change and it's going to become a more TikTok, Instagram-esque style platform where every 2 to 3 posts is a sponsored content or an ad with a creator. But the opportunity is massive to stand out. And it's a mix of more of the brand awareness push with the performance marketing elements with ads to move your ICP down that buyer cycle to eventually convert.
Yeah, I think people don't realize how powerful and useful boosting thought leadership posts are on LinkedIn. It's one of the most powerful things that LinkedIn has over Google, over Facebook. You are basically, and for those who don't know what that is, basically any post you publish on your LinkedIn profile, you can then go into your ad account and actually like put money behind that post, and it'll show up on the feed as the exact same post. There's just a little notice that says promoted by whatever company, and you can connect to any profile on LinkedIn. And as long as they accept you posting or boosting that post, you're now promoting by Funnelytics this post from AJ, right? And I think that's what you're kind of referring to here. Is this incredible advantage of you're leveraging this person's authority and you're putting marketing dollars behind that, as opposed to being like, this is by Funnelytics, from Funnelytics, we sell software, right? And that's the main key.
I would say from like a funnel, for lack of a better word, as we're talking about Funnelytics. So majority of marketers that are listening to this show run LinkedIn ads. Of that group, a small percentage are doing thought leader ads, right? The traditional thought leader ad, the reason why it's called thought leader ad is you're boosting a thought leader, but it's at your company. So Funnelytics is boosting their CEO. Funnelytics is boosting their chief revenue officer, right? Very easy to do, very simple. Probably won't ask for payment because it's going to help the company overall. But then an even smaller group of that group at Funnelytics is actually boosting creator sponsored content. But it's hard to do because you have to get in touch with the creator, you have to build a campaign brief, you have to write good content, etc. But imagine if you're running all of your ads at this point are through the creator's account. So if you have 2 posts side by side, one is from Funnelytics with the Funnelytics name and logo that looks like an ad creative, versus one is from John, who's not even associated with Funnelytics, but he's a top marketing voice talking about the best tools to build funnels, i.e. Funnelytics. Of course, that's going to perform better. And you even mentioned the promoted by Funnelytics is so discreet, it looks like it's part of their headline. So you don't even realize that you're looking at a thought leader. And most people can't even identify what is boosted versus not. So that is the hottest ad type right now. But it's not just ads, it's a mix of the creators as well. And that's what we help brands with. We either run it for them or they use our platform to do it themselves.
Yeah, to be honest, it's genius. Like it's amazing to, because even from my standpoint, like I've run a lot of thought leader ads from myself, like under Funnelytics, where it's my posts. And we use a lot of brand awareness ads, but even thinking about using other people's posts and thinking about it in that way is extremely smart and really, really cool. So I'm a brand. How do I find these thought leaders? I assume we're going to go to creatormatch.com and we're going to sign up and contact AJ.
Yeah. So, but aside from the paid side of this, obviously, so this Chrome extension, one of our goals is to democratize the tools in the space to match brands with creators. So this is not a freemium tool. This is 100% free. We have no plans to monetize it. And it's our Chrome extension. So you can go to creatormatch.com or go to the Chrome store, type in Creator Match, and this incredibly powerful tool that you can go to any person's profile and see, again, who they're getting sponsored by, type in a keyword, which is probably one of the coolest things. So I can go to your profile, type in marketing, and see every single time you've said that keyword marketing. I could filter by the sponsored posts that are images sorted from high to low comments, right? I could even go to the analytics tab and see all of your analytics, your engagement rate, how they rate compared to other creators in the marketing niche, whatever it is. And then on the homepage, it's more like a mini sourcing database where you can see all of the sponsored content or the highest performing organic content being run on LinkedIn. So these tools don't exist today. We're trying to democratize them. And if you want to go above and beyond, you can pay for the paid side of the actual platform for that. But the Chrome extension is fantastic. And the biggest feedback we get for this is, how is this free? Right? So we want more people, more brands, more creators to be matched with each other. And we want to build this ecosystem. And if you want us to do it for you, we can. If you want to do it yourself, you can use our tools and technology.
And remind the audience again, what is the name of the Chrome extension if they want to add it?
Just Creator Match Chrome extension on Google and it will come up, or creatormatch.com and type in or click the Chrome extension button on the top right corner. It's pretty easy to find. Yeah.
I got one last question, and this is, okay, cool. Like, I've got your Chrome extension, it's installed, and I find a couple people that I'm like, okay, you guys have a pretty good audience, high engagement. I can see you talk about marketing. What is typically the offer to a creator? Like, what do you say to them? Because again, they're not used to receiving messages of like, do you want to sponsor my stuff? So what is that? What's the approach there?
Sure. So when you said they're not used to getting messages for sponsorships, I would actually argue that some are, some aren't. So in our tool, it shows you who's running sponsorships and how many. So if I go to your profile and see that you've done 30 sponsorships in the last month, you're pretty used to getting outreach. If you've done 0, I'm changing my message. I will say that before us marketers jump into, I want to automate outreach. I want to send 1,000 emails today. I want to send 1,000 connection requests with an automated bot and this and that. Do things that don't scale in the beginning, because you have to learn what the messaging should be, what the testing should be, experimentation, etc. And you actually want to build relationships with the biggest, most influential voices in your space. So before you go out and say, I'm going to just mass outreach to this group, focus on building those deep relationships with the biggest voices in your space. So once you identify a couple creators that you think would be a good fit, I would see again and do some research through our tools, as in, have they done sponsorships before? What brands have they mentioned? And then use that in the outreach. And I would hop on a call with them. I would express that, hey, we're looking to partner with creators for a campaign. You can even mention the budget. If you have a campaign brief, you can share that with them as well. And then if you can, if they've mentioned your brand before, you don't have to explain what the brand is. If they said, hey, I love HubSpot, here are the 5 ways to use HubSpot, you don't have to say, hey, I'm from HubSpot, here's what we do. But if they've never mentioned you, you'll probably have to say, hey, we're Funalytics, we do X, Y, Z, and give them some more context. And then just explain what you're trying to do. I would both DM them on LinkedIn and connect with them, as well as email them, because some people check one versus the other. And then the goal will be to just have ideally a couple partners on a monthly basis talking about your brand. And that is your distribution channel from an organic channel. So every month, every quarter, I can tap into our 5 creators for that month. And every time Funalytics has a big product update, or we have a live event, or we're trying to do X, Y, Z, we have that distribution ready to tap them and say, hey, we want X number of posts going live this month, but let's chat about it. It is going to come at a price. Obviously, they're not going to talk about you for free, but you're also running a ton of money with ads. So why not talk about paying them for a sponsored post, as well as, hey, we'll give you some usage rights to put ad spend behind your content and use your image and likeness to have even more effective ads. So it starts with the outreach. It starts with a thoughtful message to get them to respond, and just be very blunt and say, hey, we're looking to partner with creators in our marketing space. You've been identified as a perfect person. You talk about funnels a ton. We'd love to show you Funalytics and its potential for a paid partnership.
AJ, this has been extremely enlightening. It's not very often that I sit down with people who are obviously marketers, but who have something really kind of fresh and cool and super interesting. And what you're doing is super interesting and really cool. So I appreciate you sharing. And where can people learn more about you?
I always joke that if I didn't say LinkedIn, it'd be the the fakest person ever on this show. Not on LinkedIn. So obviously, just you can look up my name, AJ Eckstein, on LinkedIn, or Creator Match. Just type in Creator Match on Google. Our website, Chrome extension, will come up. But the biggest kind of takeaway I'll say 2 takeaways. First one is, as a marketer, do you want to follow a playbook, or do you want to build your own playbook? Right. So do you want to follow what your competitors are doing in this red ocean and compete in really challenging territories and channels, or do you want to do something new and fresh and get promoted because you crushed that LinkedIn creator marketing campaign? The second thing is, none of this comes easy. So don't just, before you try to streamline and optimize and again, do that mass blanket outreach approach, which does not work, do things that don't scale in the beginning. You're going to have to do a lot of manual outreach, but you're going to learn a ton. And why not connect with the biggest voices in your space? You never know when you're going to need to tap them for certain things, even outside of just these campaigns, right? So follow the blue ocean, not the red ocean, and do things that don't scale. And those two collectively will lead to incredible success as a marketer for both you personally and for your business.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Thank you so much for these insights. I really appreciate your time, and we'll chat very soon.